What would you do if the very people sworn to protect you saw you not as a hero, not as a man, but as a target? Imagine being a Navy SEAL who has risked everything for his country, only to be gunned down on the streets he swore to defend. Tonight, I'm going to tell you a story that will test your emotions, your beliefs, and maybe even your hope in justice. Because this is the story of a black Navy SEAL stopped in traffic, shot at by police, and forced to make a decision no soldier should ever face on home soil. Stay with me, because this story isn't just about bullets, it's about survival, dignity, and the fight to be seen as human. It was just after midnight when Marcus Hayes, 34 years old, a decorated Navy SEAL, was driving home from a late workout session. He wasn't just any man. He had served his country in places most of us only hear about in headlines. Afghanistan, Somalia, secret missions he couldn't even talk about. He'd seen chaos, fire, and death, but he believed America was worth it. That night, the streets were quiet, the kind of quiet that makes you feel safe. Marcus rolled down his window, letting the night air cut through his sweat. He wasn't thinking about danger. Not here. Not in his own city. But then, flashing red and blue lights pierced the darkness. A police cruiser pulled in behind him. Marcus sighed, grabbed his wallet, and slowed to a stop. He wasn't speeding. He wasn't swerving. To him, it felt random. But as a black man in America, he knew better than to call it random. He kept both hands on the steering wheel, just as he'd been trained to do in countless what to do if stopped conversations his mother drilled into him as a teenager. He muttered to himself, "Stay calm. Just get through this." Two officers approached. Their voices were sharp, commanding. "Step out of the vehicle." Marcus blinked, confused. Normally, they'd ask for license and registration first. "What's going on, officer?" he asked, keeping his voice steady. But before he could finish, one of them reached for his weapon. The sound of gunfire exploded into the night. Bullets ripped through glass and metal, tearing into his car. Instinct took over. Marcus dove low, his military training flooding back. He wasn't just a man anymore. He was a SEAL, fighting for his life. His body screamed for survival. He reached into his glove compartment, where his legally registered handgun sat. Another round of shots blasted toward him, shattering his windshield. He had seconds to choose, die in silence, or fight back. For the first time in his own country, Marcus Hayes fired at men in uniform. The world slowed. Smoke hung in the air. And then, silence. The gunfire stopped, but Marcus's heart didn't. It pounded like war drums. His hands shook. Outside, one officer was down, the other groaning on the ground, clutching his leg. The sirens of backup cars wailed in the distance. Marcus knew the drill. He'd seen this before, in battle. Reinforcements would come fast, and they wouldn't ask questions. They'd see him as a threat, nothing more. He stepped out of the car, hands raised, weapon dropped. "Don't shoot! I'm a Navy SEAL! I'm not your enemy!" His voice cracked with desperation. But when more officers swarmed the scene, their rifles locked on him. He realized words alone might not save him. They forced him down, knees digging into his back, cuffs biting into his wrists. As he lay on the asphalt, face pressed into the blood-spotted pavement, Marcus thought, "I've served this country my whole life, and this is how it sees me." The media storm hit within hours. Black man opens fire on police. That was the headline. They didn't say, veteran. They didn't say, Navy SEAL. They didn't say, survivor of an unprovoked attack. Just black man. His mother wept when she saw the news. His commanding officer, a man who had sent Marcus into missions behind enemy lines, sat stunned in silence. "He's one of the best we've ever had," he told reporters. "And he was ambushed in his own backyard. The courtroom became his new battlefield. Prosecutors painted him as aggressive, dangerous. But his defense told the truth. Marcus had been ambushed, hunted, and left no choice but to defend himself. The trial dragged on for months. His story spread across the nation, igniting debates about race, policing, and what it means to come home from war, only to find another war waiting for you on your own streets. People marched with signs that read, "Protect Black veterans. Protect Black lives." And finally, after endless nights in a cell replaying the horror in his mind, a jury saw him for who he was. Not a criminal, not a statistic, but a man who fought for his life. Marcus walked free, but he was not the same. He stood before cameras one last time, his voice heavy with both pain and pride. "I love my country. I fought for it. I bled for it. And I almost died for it tonight, not overseas, but right here at home. Don't let my story be another forgotten headline. Let it be a reminder that we are human too. That service, that loyalty, that dignity should mean something." The crowd erupted, some in tears, some in awe. But everyone knew they had witnessed more than just a verdict. They had witnessed resilience. Marcus's story became a fire, and like all fires, it spread. So, what would you do? If the people meant to protect you saw you as a threat, Marcus Hayes didn't just survive a traffic stop gone wrong. He turned his pain into a message for all of us. That dignity, justice, and humanity should never depend on the color of your skin. This story isn't just his, it's ours. And it's a reminder that even in the darkest moments, we still have the power to fight for light.